This is Keep Me in Reverence and Lay Thy Head Low, written by Dillbug, read by all of Podfic. Summary. The room is silent, and Scar gently places his hand on Grian's. You know that, don't you? When he doesn't respond, Scar continues in an even smaller voice. You know we love you, right? Watchers do not have friends. No attachments. She's her? Go help her. No, don't. Stay put. Chin up. Fledgeling, do as you're told. It won't hurt if you could just listen, you useless thing. Put obsidian over your chests. That'll teach you to organize everything as orderly. The universe functions by the rules we enforce. No, little empire. The universe is fluid and kind. They lie. They want to control us. They want power. We want what's best for you. Stand up straight. Don't waver. Never waver. Never, never, never. Grian? A warm hand on his shoulder. A breath is punched from his lungs. Grian, it's okay. Grian clenches his teeth so hard they ache, praying over and over to... He's not sure who he's praying to. Who will answer when he is a god himself? Or, Exuma's religion is the Watcher Pantheon, of which Grian is an unwilling member. And, wait, has anyone seen Pearl? Chapter 1. Steady the trot to the cemetery. There's this thing in Grian's chest. Nothing physical, but a feeling, a weight. It purrs in delight when he is with his friends, and is overly possessive of those close to him. It is a constant battle to appease this thing and maintain healthy relationships with the hermits. But sometimes as he lies awake at night, he can hear the voices calling to this part of him. Selkwa, they wail, please have mercy. Please make the other watchers leave us in peace. Selkwa, they chant. Great One, exalted, I ask that you grant me wishes beyond my wildest imagination. Selkwa, he whispers, and this one is new, but eerily familiar. All I ask is for the strength to protect my people. And this last one is quiet, but not in the same way the others are. The others are loud, they are born of desperation, of a booming voice commanding respect. But that last one, it was barely a whisper on the breeze, and yet it was the clearest of all. There is nothing he can do for the people under the Watcher's thumb. There is something he will do for someone who commands him. But strength? While he is not exactly rich in it, neither is he in short supply. And he could spare some strength to the one who is true enough in faith that his message is carried straight to Zelkwa's ear. When Grian lands in Exuma's wasteland area, he shakes his wings out, and then skips over to the group that's loosely gathered together. He's quickly dwarfed by an arm slung over his shoulder by Mumbo, and he wiggles just a little, but gives up quickly enough and burrows into Mumbo's side. It's only a few more minutes before the last of the stragglers come trickling in, and a hush falls over the group as Exuma stands on a table. All right, my friends, he starts, but voice kind but bold, and that little thing in Grian's chest lights up in a fiery little fit of possession. And Grian bites his lip, pain lighting up the nerves there. Exuma is continuing his speech, something about his family's tradition. Grian's got his arm wound around Mumbo's waist, and he finds himself pressing closer as the tide of Exuma's steady tone washes over him. As a group, they are herded into the newly constructed temple. The building, fitting with Exuma's starter base, is mostly the pale yellow of sandstone accented with teals, and has 5 distinct wings branching out like a snowflake. 4 are empty, while 1 appears to be relatively finished. It is not the grandiose image Grian has held in his mind when picturing the religion of Exuma. The same man who has created 9 worlds now dedicated to building grandiose structures. There are no pews, as Grian had been anticipating from the few times Grian accompanied his childhood friends to their temple services. Just a few cushions to the sides, where one could choose to face the inside or the window. There is an altar, with a brocaded depiction of a hooded figure with numerous pairs of wings and a wide-open eye behind the figure's head, akin to a halo. Grian tilts his head as he takes it in. It's familiar, in an uncomfortable way. "My main patron of the Watcher Pantheon," Exuma is saying, and Grian's attention slams back into place. Shit. That's why. He can't be found by them again. Is Zelqua, who is represented as a trickster, protector, and wanderer. He is not as popular these days due to... His fragile mind floats away from his body, and he blinks when Mumbo gently shakes him. "Grian?" Mumbo's lips are twisted into a frown. "You okay?" Grian blinks slowly once more. "What? Yeah, I'm fine." He gives a shaky smile and turns his head to return his attention to Exuma's speech. But the temple is empty, save Exuma, Mumbo, and himself. Exuma is regarding Grian with a curiously tilted head, and Grian can imagine he's frowning under his helmet. Right, he takes a step back, and the world around him seems to wriggle around him, like worms in a tin. Weird. Mumbo grabs a hold of him once more, and Exuma steps forward to put a hand to his neck and check his pulse. "Grian, your heart is racing. You're not okay. Do you know what's going on?" He blinks again. God damn it, can he actually form a thought instead of just blinking all the time? Let's lay him down. Right. Grian lets the world go fuzzy as they maneuver him onto one of the cushions on the floor. He stares at the vaulted ceilings and ignores Exuma and Mumbo's fretting in favor of the floaty haze over his senses. He closes his eyes. Soon his hearing peters off as well, and for a long while it is just him and the void. "They will be safe if I accept?" he asks once more, and the robed woman nods to him. Atop her veiled head, 7 bone-white horns protrude from her head. "Worry not, trickster. Your friends will be safe from your mistake, should you choose to right your wrongs in this way," she says, holding out a thin and spindly hand, lavender in tone with long talons in place of nails. "And how do I know I can trust you?" He cannot see behind the shadow of her hood, but there is a part of him that just knows she is grinning, and it sends a shiver down his spine. And it doesn't make sense because he can't even see her. But the smile gives him the impression of a yawning crack in the surface of the earth. Something hungry. "Oh, young one." She says young one like it is a threat. "My curse is that I must always tell the truth, though I will always evoke the truth in return." He takes her hand. He stands on the island in the end, sword in hand, all that is left. Survive the dragon. "I just don't understand." Mumbo is lamenting as Grian returns to his senses. "I have no idea what could have happened to make him just... Ugh! A frustrated groan crawls itself out of his throat. Grian slowly pries his eyes open, and in his waving vision, he sees Exuma rubbing a comforting hand over Mumbo's shoulder. That little piece of him, neatly curled into a corner of his chest, rears its head, and a wave of jealousy and possessiveness washes over him. He banishes it not even a second later, because yes, that is his partner, who, has friends and really should have friends to lead a healthy life. They're sat on the floor cushions across the narrow temple hall, Mumbo sitting with his knees up and arms loosely crossed over them. Exuma sits halfway in a crisscross, with one leg bent and the other extended. "Mumbo," Grian mumbles. Both Mumbo and Exuma perk up. "Grian!" he exclaims and scrambles upright over to his side. Grian hums and Mumbo gently grasps his hand, interlacing their fingers. "How are you doing? You gave us quite the fright." What happened?" His muscles feel all jello-y and his tongue is awkward and fumbling in his mouth. "I was hoping you would be able to tell us, my friend," Exuma chimes, weary tone hiding in an attempt at lightheartedness. "I don't know. I just remember..." His stomach churns at the scene that flashes before his eyes. Her. Of course he cannot escape her, not even after years of world hopping and firewalls armed to the teeth. She doesn't even need to find him. All it takes is a silly tapestry depiction of a watcher and Grian comes crumbling down like a house of cards. She doesn't even have to be there with him. She's already inside his mind. He squeezes his eyes shut and flinches away from a hand that brushes against his throat. The touch does not return, and Exuma murmurs a quiet, "I'm sorry." Zelqua curls in on himself, shuddering violently. I'm sorry, please I didn't, please don't, please it." He breaks off into a choked sob, and he can distantly hear Mumbo murmuring reassurances, but it is like a tidal of unseen ocean laps the words away before they reach his ears. Suddenly, a feeling of calm plants itself into the middle of his chest, and he immediately goes quiet, limbs stuttering and falling at the sudden change. It is gone. Whatever panic, hysteria, overreaction had overcome him had just as quickly disintegrated. "Huh," Grian says, able to sit up on his own. Mumbo and Exuma watch him with wide eyes as he clambers to his feet, wings flapping a bit as he overbalances. "Anyway," he says, looking at them, frozen as they are on the ground, "I think I'm going to head home now." He ignores their protests and calmly exits the temple, and immediately throws himself into the air, wings beating powerfully. He has pierced the blanket of clouds before Mumbo and Exuma can even strap on their elytra.